And welcome back to another review of Life of Chesses for General Hospital, September 23rd, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? I said for me, I'm like, I've been waiting on this tribute. I've been waiting on the funeral and everything. But I'm also like, I've been waiting on them to get all these storylines that's been going on for months now out the way. I've been waiting to see who done shot Drew. I've been waiting to see, what was the other thing? Who targeted Michael, who blew him up or whatever. And it was another thing. What was the other thing, y'all? I don't know if it was about Sidwell or what. But yeah, so first we're going to do a quick summary and then we're going to dive into the review. First of all, Nathan doesn't remember how he got there. I think the last thing that he said he remembered was the whole Faison situation. And I said, now what? I want to know. I want to know how they're going to explain where he's been. Like, who has had him and how he get in that doggone truck. He don't even remember getting in the truck. I said, what happened now? Look, I'm curious to find out. And who left Britt the letter? Also, does Britt know, or did she already know that Nathan was alive? Like, I got questions. But yeah, Nathan doesn't remember how he got there. Felicia ended up telling Cody that Jane's dad may or may not be at GH. Jane said that sometimes he wishes that Cody was his dad. Trina over there talking too much again. She was talking to Jordan. She ended up mentioning how her parents only in that situation because of her. She started talking about how whatever decision they made because of this whole thing is because of me or whatever. They trying to protect me. So Jordan basically told her that if she keeps on doing this or whatever, they're going to label her as a suspect. And I said, exactly. And then the whole Kai situation, Kai was telling her how only his fingerprints was on the softball bat and stuff like that. But I was mentioning how she had to touch something else in the house. I know she had touched Drew because she was checking on him. I know she touched, I don't know if there was a blanket or what, but I don't know if that keeps traces of your fingerprints or not. Because I'm assuming it cut off. I'm assuming that that was one of the first things that they, what's it called anyways, that they analyzed. But yeah, aside from that, let's see. What else happened? Let's see. Portia ended up telling Isaiah that she reconsidered. He told my son, I had to think about it. Then he ended up saying at the end of their scene how he wants to keep quiet because he don't want to lose his job. I said, I think you're full of crap. But we're going to talk about him because I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know yet. I don't know about him. Y'all know I've been suspicious of him for a very long time. At first, I thought he was in cahoots with Sidwell. At first, I thought he did, but I don't know. But yeah, Marsha ended up asking Curtis if he thought Portia shot Drew. I said, we don't know who shot Drew because they still ain't told us. I said, how long it's been since he done got shot? And we still don't know who it was? I said, it better be interesting. It better be somebody good. But yeah, Lois and Ned tried to convince Tracy into going to Monica's funeral. She was saying how, it doesn't matter because Monica's dead or whatever. So she was like, she wins that game of cards or whatever, she'll go. They showed her on the preview for tomorrow's episode, and she's going to be at the funeral or going to the funeral or whatever. So I'm assuming that she won. I'm assuming she won. But yeah, let's dive into the review. As always, let me know down below what y'all thought of the episode. The first thing that happened, it was Nathan, Nina. She was talking to him. He had woke up. And he called her name. I said, so that's Nathan. I was like, so it's actually Nathan. He called her name. She went out there. She told Anna that's really Jay or whatever. That's really her brother. So Anna was like, she wanted to go in there too. So when she walked through the door, he knew her too. He started looking for Maxie. He wanted to know what she was there. They eventually told him that she collapsed and she got sick and she in a coma. But they was asking him questions about where he been. He don't even know. He was like, the last thing he remember is about Faison. He remember, I think he said he remember getting shot because he looked on his chest. Lord have mercy, I'm messing up bad. They distracted me. They really distracted me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he ended up checking his chest or whatever, and he was like, how can it be? So they started explaining things. They was like, they don't know what happened. Last they remember, they went to his funeral and everything. And I was like, I want to know how they gonna explain this. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they done put somebody on ice and they've been brought back to life. But somebody pointed out, they was like, back then when somebody died and came back to life, they never showed their body or anything. I was like, I don't know. I never really paid attention. I just knew they brought people back to life. I know they died about 3,000 times. No, I know they died about 2 times. They came back to life. I don't know if they actually showed their face. They said they showed Nathan in the casket. It's been so long, y'all. I don't remember. I think the last thing I remember about that, I remember him getting shot. I remember the funeral because I think Maxie was mad at Lulu. What did Lulu do? Was she writing articles back then or something? What did she do? I don't know what she did, but I know she was mad at her. I remember she was going off on her or whatever. Excuse me. She was going off on her, but I don't remember nothing else, y'all. I really don't. And it was something about that. What was it? It was something I was gonna mention. I don't know. But how do y'all feel about Nathan and Maxie getting back together? Do y'all think that she should stay with Spinelli? Y'all know I like Spinelli. I ain't gonna say I like them as a couple because she said too many times she didn't want him. I mean, people are allowed to change their mind, but at the same time, like I don't know. I really don't know. And also another thing, I think I brought this up before. Um, in this situation, if somebody died but they don't really die, don't that mean they still married or what? I don't know. I don't know if that still mean they married or not. Cause I seen somebody saying Maxie ex-husband, but if they was still married before he died, ain't they still married? I don't know how that's supposed to work, but yeah. But yeah, Nathan woke up. Nina tells Anna it's her brother. James was talking to Cody. Felicia was listening in. Felicia ended up telling Cody that there's a guy at GH that they suspect that it's Nathan or whatever. He's basically saying regardless of anything, he's gonna be there for James and nobody's gonna hurt him. James ended up telling Cody before he left how he wishes that he was his dad, or sometimes he wishes that he was his dad. And I said, look, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't remember Nathan like that. I remember him partially, but not a lot, y'all. I don't know. What else? Who we got next? Cody, James, Felicia. We already talked about them. Curtis and Trina. So when he got back in the house, she was like, I think he asked her if she heard anything. And she was like, she didn't have to. She seen Portia's face when Dante mentioned Jordan. And she was just talking to him about it, and he was just trying to tell her, regardless of anything, he gonna always love her. He gonna always be there for her and stuff like that. And I'll be hoping, I don't know, I just be hoping Portia get caught. I'll be hoping she get caught. I don't think they didn't do nothing on today's episode, but I was like, she over here talking about some, she reconsidered, she want to be with him, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute, y'all. She want to be with him or whatever, and he want to keep it on the hush hush. And I said, when you gonna get caught slipping? Because you over here been talking crazy to Curtis and stuff, mad about some drinks and stuff like that. And once again, I repeat, because people be pointing that out. If your wife or husband tell you they don't want you associated with somebody and you continue to do that, that would definitely be a problem. That would definitely be a problem. But you don't cheat it. The drinks is the least of the problem in this situation. Then they always be like, yeah, I'm ready to move on with you. You still married. Get a divorce, then do it. Hold on. But yeah, Trina said she saw Portia's face when Jordan's name was mentioned. Portia tells Jordan that if she looking for Curtis, he's at his house. She's like, his house? She's like, yeah, I don't stay there no more. I was wondering though, when she was like, time to go yesterday, wasn't it yesterday? I was like, wait, who house is that? I was like, is that his or hers? But I guess it's his. She talking about she ready to go. She said she got to get up out of here. I said, you ain't slick. I said, don't try to get up out of it before he find out you been cheating. I said, don't try to be slick like that. But yeah. What else? I already said how she said that Curtis is at his house. Ned tells Brooklyn that he had an affair with Monica. She was like, she knew. He started going into details, and she was like, she didn't want to hear about that. So the person that he was on the phone with the other day was Lois, y'all. She showed up trying to talk to Tracy. Tracy wanted her to leave. She tried to convince her to go to Monica's funeral. She was like, there's no point, basically, because, Monica dead. Monica dead or whatever. Ned eventually showed up. Might as well get them out the way. Ned eventually showed up, tried to convince her. She kept saying how there's no need. She was just saying how she's so tired, how everybody just keep dying and stuff. Everybody around her, how she done buried her brother, she done buried her dad, her parents and everything. She's just tired. She's just overwhelmed with it all. He was just trying to encourage her. She was like, I tell you what, if I win this game, then I go to Monica's funeral. And the reason why she said that, because when they first showed her, she kept losing. When they first showed her, she was losing, so she assumed that she was going to lose this time too. Now, I don't know, because I think it cut off. I don't know if that was the end or not. Let me know, y'all. What did y'all see at the end of the episode with the whole Tracy Ned situation? I know she was saying something that if she win, if I'm not mistaken, then she'll go. And they showing her on tomorrow's episode preparing to go to the funeral. So I don't know if that was her winning. I don't know if she just decided on her. I don't know what. Brooklyn and Lois end up talking. She ended up thanking her mama for, the whole Tracy situation, trying to help with her. They was talking about Maxie, and she was like, she reached out, but, Brooklyn wasn't ready to talk to her. I'm hoping that they finally put this behind them and move forward, but I don't know. I've seen some people saying how they don't think she should ever forgive her. I mean, forgiving is one thing. Forgetting is a whole nother different thing. And in this situation, I said she kept messing up. This is my thing, and I said that. I said Lois kept messing up. It's bad enough that you lied to her about where her child was or whatever. That the child was adopted when he was right there. But he was right there. It was one thing when he was away. Once he moved close to her and you still chose to keep quiet, then try to flip it when she started investigating, you brought it on yourself. She definitely did, but they had a nice little scene. I said she done went got this cotton candy to try to bribe her. Try to bribe her. What else? Let's see. Let me see. We already talked about Portia and Jordan, Brooklyn and Ned, Tracy Lewis, Curtis and Marshall. We'll come back to them. Jordan and Trina, she went to talk to her because she was like, her parents' marriage basically was falling apart and stuff like that. She don't want it to happen. And Jordan was basically trying to tell her not to do that, and she can't really interfere if they decide that, this is no longer what they want. And she was like, I'm not trying to keep them together as a couple because I want them to be together. I'm trying to keep them from going to jail. So she started talking too much. And I know Jordan knew already that Portia was being blackmailed because the other chat about her daddy, Curtis, had told her. But I don't think he told her what, though. So she just killed. She didn't directly say it like she did with Cotton and with anything like that, but she did say how whatever they did, whatever decision they made, it's all because of me. They was looking out for me and stuff like that. So basically, they can't be held accountable for their actions because they were trying to look out for her. So Jordan told her, if you keep on, they gonna think that you're a suspect because you trying to protect your parents because their marriage is over and that's why you trying to go after Drew or whatever. I said that wrong again. I said that all the way wrong. Basically, she'll be a suspect. And I said, definitely. And they still, I said, what type of police people these is? They ain't ran the doggone DNA test or the fingerprint test up on this bat yet. They don't know the guy was involved. They run around questioning people 2 times, question Curtis or whatever. They don't ran the DNA test for Nathan and all, but you ain't found out about Kai touching that doggone bat yet. You ain't put 2 and 2 together yet. What the world? But yeah, what else? Let's see. Because I think we're gonna end with Portia and Isaiah. So next we got Curtis and Marshall. He was just talking to Marshall about everything that's going on. He was like, he don't know if he more upset or more worried because he could be a suspect in the whole Drew shooting, or because his marriage and family crumbling apart or whatever. I said, don't be that sad. I said, he need to find out. I want to see his reaction. I want to see if he even cared because he can't seem to stay out Jordan's face after his wife done said she was tired of it. But I don't know. But yeah, I've been waiting on that. That's another thing I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on her to get caught because you talked all that noise and she just continued to do stupid stuff. The whole time I've been seeing her, she been doing stupid stuff. But yeah, they was just talking about that. And he was like, "Are you focused on protecting Portia because you want to protect her, or because you suspect?" I don't think that's what he said, but the other part he did say, "Do you suspect that she's the one that actually shot Drew?" And somebody pointed out that she could have had her hair pulled back or whatever, and her and Nina could have been cahoots together. I said she a fool. She sit up there and let Nina convince her to shoot this man, or maybe she the one who came up with the idea. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, they did disappear. They definitely disappeared. But then again, Michael didn't have no alibi either, not really. So I was like, they was sitting at the table and talking about him and stuff like that. Then next thing you know, they got a screenshot of the person that did it, but we don't know. We just know they had hair. That's all we know. It's a lot of people on this show that got hair. We know it's a lot of people or whatever. And I said, look, they need to, Friday's episode need to be them doing a flashback showing us who actually shot Drew. What else? I think the last people we're gonna talk about is Portia and Isaiah. Let me see if I can find it. So he ended up, I think first he updated Nina and them about Nathan basically saying he's in good health, but he do have a little wound or whatever where he got shot in his chest, but he doing fine. I don't know if he said he was waiting on his brain scans or he got his brain scans back. I don't know. But he went into her office and she was like, she reconsidered whatever, her marriage is over, so basically she want him or whatever. So he was like, I really don't want to lose my job. I had to think about this or whatever, because the last time we talked, he wanted it, but she didn't want it, and he's so scared of getting hurt again because the last time he got his feelings hurt. I said, you didn't even know Jordan like that. Not to say that means that you can't get your feelings hurt, because it's possible. You ain't got to be together with nobody to get your feelings hurt or for you not to care about somebody. People need to stop saying it. They need to stop saying it. So I give him that. But I'm confused now. Do you want to or do you not want to? Somebody he's scared to get hurt, but you comfortable. Somebody, if you sure if your marriage is really over, being over and being divorced is 2 different things. And even when you get divorced, sometimes you still don't be over the situation. So I'm like, I don't know, cause I don't know. I really don't know. Just we gonna put a question mark by Isaiah. We gonna put a question mark by him. But yeah, like I said, Portia told Isaiah that she's reconsidered. And he was like, he got to think about it or whatever. I don't want to lose my job or whatever. And I was like, nah, you could have lost your job before. She was like, I understand because I was just in a situation where I was gonna lose my job. I said, girl, he probably tried to get your job. I said, you better watch him. Don't you tell him what happened. Don't you tell him nothing. Every time they think they can trust somebody, they talk too much. I said, your daughter don't sit up here and snuck into this man's house. Her and the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend don't stole evidence to help you. Don't incriminate themselves once they find out. Don't you sit up here and do nothing stupid to tell him or nothing like that. But yeah, he was like, he got to think about it if they do it because he don't want to lose his job. He want to keep it a secret. He want to keep it private or whatever. And she was like, okay, she could do that. I said, y'all as good as caught. I'm stuttering and stuff. I said, y'all as good as talk. Y'all as good as caught. Lord have mercy. Y'all caught. Y'all surely caught. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Isaiah wants to keep it private, doesn't want to get hurt like before. She was like, she completely understands. And I was like, yeah, I don't see this working out. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Tracy tired of burying people she loved. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it, y'all. That is it. That is all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review.